In this video, I'm sharing my #1 tip for success when it comes to a well-balanced and thriving planted aquarium. So let's go ahead and dive in. What is going on, everybody, and welcome. I am Kendall Otter from Otter Creek Aquatics, and if you're looking to grow your aquarium keeping skills or looking for other videos pertaining to the aquarium hobby, then make sure you go ahead and consider subscribing so you don't miss any of my upcoming weekly videos. Now let's go ahead and dive into that #1 tip. So first, I want to talk about the biggest mistake that new planted tank hobbyists make. And that is they have a tank full of fish, like this 29 gallon, which is my recommended size for new hobbyists. And I have about 60, maybe even more guppies in there. Some are small, some are a little bit bigger. And I have about 8 panda corridoras, and I have 2 pretty decent sized super red bristlenose plecos. And what new hobbyists will do, they'll go to either PetSmart or Petco, and they'll pick out a plant, just one plant, and they'll bring it home, put it in their tank, not sure what that plant actually needs nutrient wise. Then they stick it in their tank and it melts back. They don't know what to do. They think it's dying, so they end up just throwing it away. But if it does get a little bit of growth, then what's going to happen is you're going to have this huge bio load full of fish, which a bio load is the waste that the fish produce, and just this one little plant. And if you have all these fish in just one plant, that plant is not going to be able to suck up all the nutrients that that fish's bio load is producing. And that's the significant value of planted tanks or live plants in the aquarium, is that when fish produce ammonia, plants, they eat up ammonia, and they eventually end up eating up the nitrates, which, if you don't understand the nitrogen cycle, then you probably won't understand this. But ammonia gets transformed into nitrites, nitrites to nitrates, and then your plants are going to soak up those nitrates. Or if you don't really have a plant load, then you're going to have to water change those nitrates out. So that is the biggest mistake that new planted tank hobbyists make, is that they have a huge fish load and they only have one plant or 2 plants, and it's just not going to be able to keep up with the bio load. And that leads me into our #1 tip. So when I talk about balance in the planted aquarium, I'm talking about the plant mass that you have in the aquarium either outweighs or is equal to the amount of bio load that your fish are producing. And as a result of this, you're going to have your tank full of plants and full of fish, and as those fish produce their waste, those plants are going to intake that waste and they're going to use them as nutrients to grow. So going back to the beginner, you're going to have your tank full of fish and only 1 or 2 plants. Well, the amount of waste that those fish are producing, those plants aren't going to be able to keep up with those nutrients or bio load. And because of this, the excess bio load is going to be eaten by algae, and that's going to cause algae to grow. So when it comes to a balanced aquarium, you want to outweigh your fish's bio load with the plant mass. So my #1 tip for a successfully balanced planted aquarium is to, right off the bat, fill your entire tank up with as many plants as you can get your hands on. I don't care if you have 1 fish or 2 fish or 60 guppies. Filling your tank up with plants, this is going to lead you to a more successful planted tank. Now I know what you're thinking. So if I only have 1 fish and I have a tank full of plants, then I'm not going to be able to produce enough bio load for those plants to grow. And that is where fertilizers either liquid or dry, come into play. And we're going to save that for another video. And this is actually going to be a series, so if you like this type of content, make sure you go ahead and consider subscribing. If you got some value out of this, go ahead and hit that like button for me. Share it out for your Planted Tank friends. And as always, ding that notification bell so you know the next time I upload a new video, especially pertaining to this series. I'm super pumped about this series, especially since planted tanks are my passion. I love talking about it. And there is a quote that says, "Start with the end goal in mind." And this works perfectly for this tip. Start with what you want your planted tank to look like, and then you can reverse engineer it backwards to that success. If you start out with a fully planted tank, I promise you, you are going to have a 99.9% more chance of success in your aquarium. So thank you all for watching. Keep following your dreams, keep inspiring, and until next time, everybody, see you.